Pete Carroll.
There you go. You guys found a way to bring Durant.
No, you did. I would like to see Durant in San Antonio. Wemby, they're going to have another high draft pick. Vassell, Castle. There's a lot to like about that lineup.
He's Joe Fortenbaum, Q Myers. You're with Joe and Q on ESPN Radio and on your smart speaker.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback. You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is back
perfectly in your home. If the answer is no, EDS is yes. Theo here, and for me, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing is my go-to, and it should be yours too. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly. EDS is a train comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Go to edsisyes.com. That's edsisyes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Go get it done. Green.
Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it. However you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable in bonus bet up to $100. Not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
It's the ultimate St. Patrick's Day party at your local Duffy Sports Grill. All day, get the St. Patty's Day classic corned beef and cabbage made with certified Angus beef for just $15.99. And great drink specials today. Enjoy $4 Green Miller Light Pints, $6 Jameson Shots, and $7 Guinness Pints. There's only one place to go to soak in all things St. Patrick's Day, your local Duffy Sports Grill. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Somehow, even when they made the right decision, the Bengals ultimately feel like they made a mistake.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. Happy Motion Monday to all of those who celebrate. Also, Happy St. Patty's Day. Today's like officially the day, right? This is the actual day of St. Patty's, St. Patrick, It's his name, right? It's a guy. It's a guy named St. Patrick. And they call it St. Patty's Day, and you wear green, and you drink a lot, and you have fun with your friends.
You kind of hit all the bases, yeah.
C-Cat's on the other side of the glass on the ones and the twos. He is a newly minted Notre Dame supporter, though he is also one of their latest addition to being a absolute hater of the Irish. And remember you had your coin flipped after your Penn State Nittany Lions lost to Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. We were there. You witnessed Notre Dame quote-unquote fans for the first time up close and personal, and you absolutely hated them. You thought that they were all fake, phony.
I'm a hater by hire. Like, I'm a mercenary when it comes to being a hater in sports, and they had me for one night. I was hating Ohio State more than rooting for Notre Dame. Right. I just showed it in different ways. I've dropped any sort of attachment that I fabricated for the college football national championship game.
Okay, so you no love or hate left for Notre Dame. You're just indifferent.
No, I back to hating it.
Okay, you hate them again.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just default like the rest of the world. If you're not a Notre Dame fan, you're a Notre Dame hater. So I'm just like everybody else.
To me, honestly, Notre Dame no longer, it's weird to be actively hating Notre Dame because they're so, I don't want to say irrelevant, but they're not good enough.
They're not in the national championship game this year.
No, I'm talking like year over year, they're not good enough.
That's going to change.
How do you hate a team that's not even that doesn't win titles? Now, Marcus Freeman, what he's doing now, yes, the trajectory of Notre Dame is in the angle of where they can start to resonate a little bit more hate in people's hearts. But for the majority of our lives, they have not been a serious threat to any of our favorite teams. Like, I mean, they don't come through in the big games ever.
Well, there are so many reasons to hate Notre Dame, specifically in college football, because they get an automatic bye. If they are good enough, they get an automatic bye in the college football playoff because they don't have to play a conference championship game. Another reason to hate Notre Dame. Their fans pop up out of nowhere. They have zero attachment to the school, region, sporting programs. They just pop out of nowhere and give you a list of excuses as to why they're rooting for the Irish.
So if you're either Catholic or if you have a lick of Irish in your ancestry, I don't know what the percentage is, apparently you have a claim to fandom with Notre Dame, which I can't hate on because I don't know the logistics of all of that. I'm not well versed in the in Irish heritage, nor am I a Catholic. So I let people live. Let people get it how they live. I will agree with you though. Even at the Capital One Orange Bowl last year, being there at Hard Rock Stadium, I witnessed firsthand folks who were fans of other prominent football programs. I won't call any names out, but one guy that is prominent in Palm Beach County sports, who is an Oklahoma alum and fan, rocking Notre Dame gear and saying that they're Irish fans because they got a lick of Irish in the family.
Ew.
Yeah. So you're right.
That's what I say to that. It's ew.
Yeah, absolutely. Ew. Ew is deserving. How was your St. Patty's Day weekend though, man? It was a lot. We did a little art after dark at the Norton out here. I was able to go topside with my guy Tyler Cameron out there in Jupiter, the Beacon. That was amazing. Sitting up there off the water. Any videos you see of me yelling things on the mic, absolutely artificial intelligence. AI has gone rampant. I do not co-sign anything that you might have or have seen or said from said event, but it was a good time. And then we had the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame last night, which was a magnificently put together event. We inducted some Hall of Famers. We awarded some area sports athletes, and it was actually the quickest we've ever done it, the most efficient. So big shout to the Palm Beach County Sports Commission. Congratulations to those inducted into the Hall of Fame. And the stories that we got out of that, it was a very emotional, very inspirational night. So
what is it with all these special events? The duration is always a discussion.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was too long. Oh, it's too short.
I'm never one to complain about the length of events. Now, I will say as the MC of many of these events where people complain about the duration or the length, it feels a little personal sometimes. I feel like that's part of my job. So I am cognizant of it, and I do feel better about an event when you get people out quicker than they assume they would be. But especially like a night like last night, we were at the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Everybody was dressed to the nines. It was a beautiful event. There were some great stories being told. The honorees were very grateful. This was their moment in the sun. One guy, Andy Kistner, who is an alum from out this area, played Big Ten football. He flew all the way from California to come in this weekend and be honored and inducted into the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame. So to folks like that, I'm like, yo, if he want to take an extra 5-10 minutes to thank people, to show some love, to kind of give a little of a nostalgic tales of his past and how he got here, I'm with it. But again, when you got a crowd of about 400 folks and most of them are in there for like one person in particular, a lot of times it's like going to a graduation. Once your person's done, you're like, all right, let's get this thing over with.
Yeah, I guess
Wrap it up.
That's true. Especially, when you're a guest of someone who's being honored, you only care about the words they say or words that are said about them, and you could just get rid of the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like, all right, I'm good. You'll see, and again, you can tell because there were just pockets of the room all over. But again, it was a great night. It was a celebration, an event full of celebration, and it was efficient, so it checked all of the boxes. You had a great weekend as well, man. You was kicking it with the Pops at a big tournament.
Yeah, took a trip up I-95, went to Jacksonville, and went to the Players' Championship. Weather didn't cooperate. That's why we got there early on Sunday. Oh, just a pro move.
It's smart.
We kind of looked at the skies, looked at the radar, and said, they're going to blow that weather horn pretty soon.
So pause right quick, CCAT, because you work in media, you have access to a lot of different applications on your phone. I'm sure the weather app, I'm sure the local stations, even in Jacksonville and out here, have apps that you can get notifications from. There's actually paid meteorologists, people who forecast the weather that put updates out. So you and your Pops, instead of like going to the source of information, y'all just looked at the sky?
Yeah, we felt it, and we felt like the rain started to trickle on ourselves,
That's what y'all did. So Sunday morning, you woke up, and instead of watching the news, you just looked into the sky.
Well, we had tickets to Sunday at the Players' Championship. Yeah. You're going to go.
Yeah, I mean, but you could have. I'm just saying, like, you
Wait, no. What's your angle?
Don't circumvent the experts here.
What's your angle here?
You were trying to predict the weather without just going to the people that do it professionally.
Well, if it was that easy, why were we the only ones who got out with zero traffic because we left 15 minutes before they blew the weather horn?
Oh, wow.
And apparently people were stuck in gridlock traffic in the parking lot at TBC Sawgrass for hours after the weather horn blew. And they did not resume play for 4 hours. It was a living hell for anyone who waited until play was delayed.
I'm absolutely sorry for those who were again, you get to go to a beautiful, magnificently ran tournament, I'm sure, but that I hate lines and I hate traffic. So if you had to suffer through that, I feel bad for you. CCAT, walk me through your Sunday then. So you got there early.
Yeah.
You pulled up what time?
Got there like 8:30.
Okay, 8:30 a.m. First tee off on Sunday was 8. Okay, so you still weren't the first folks through the gate, but you got there early enough to leave. What time did you leave, and why did y'all how were you so clued in to get out of there before it got traffic?
I believe we left at 11:45, and we looked at the radar.
Yeah,
we were walking through the PGA Tour shop, looking at some of the merchandise, seeing if maybe they had a rain jacket in the off chance that we wanted to stay. But while we checked the radar, while waiting in line, we realized, wait a second, it's going to get really bad here really soon, and we do not want to get stuck. Because when they blow the weather horn, they don't just say, okay, play's delayed, take care of yourself. No, they kick everyone off the grounds and off the property, which sucks.
At once.
And it's not like you can just wait in the parking lot because it's raining, and it's awful. So you either go sit in your car on the off chance that the delay is end pretty quickly, or really operating under the assumption that maybe play won't start today, and I might be waiting in my car for a tournament that never begins again.
That's actually absolutely miserable. Weather delays are the worst. I hate it when, and again, this is a much smaller responsibility or level of commitment to something, but like when I'm covering a game, and especially like high school football out here, it happens all the time that time of year, where you get a lightning storm, some kind of thunder, heavy rain, and now there's an ambiguous amount of time to which they can restart the match. I'm curious over this. So this is a huge match. People are going to want to see this. Rory is obviously in the lead at this point with a good chance to win it, which he did cap it off this morning. You didn't have any kind of like fear of missing out on what could have been. This is a historic victory.
I mean, kind of. I mean,
did you go back after they resumed?
No.
Did they?
Because you never knew. And then we were about 45 minutes away, and we ended up watching the rest of it at a sports bar.
Oh, wow. It's probably nice, though. It's still nice. And then it wraps up Monday. How does that work? When you have a Sunday ticket and there's a playoff the next day, do you get a chance to go? Or
I gotta assume, yeah, because like you paid for a full day of golf. It's not your fault that it was delayed, so you get the rest of what you paid for.
What do you mean you gotta assume? You had a ticket. You didn't get like a notification?
And I did not, no.
I wonder how that worked out. Because I'm curious.
Yeah, I think you bring your Sunday admission and you get in on Monday.
Yeah.
And apparently there were 6,000 people that entered TBC Sawgrass this morning for the 9 a.m. start of the playoff.
Well, congratulations to Rory McIlroy. No championship in sights for TGL's Boston Golf Club, but Rory is going to rake in that's his second major, right?
Well, that's not a major.
Oh, the Players isn't, but why they got all that money on the damn Players? I'm tripping it.
They call it the fifth major in quotation marks because it's probably the best event that's not a major. It's the richest event, but yeah.
So my dog still can't get his hands on one of them things. Okay, that's all good, Rory. It's all
his
good.
Second tournament win before April, which is the first time he's ever done that.
Oh,
okay. He won at Pebble Beach, and then he won here.
My guy is turning things around. I recall just around this time last year, as we were just getting started with Theoretically Speaking, a lot of the the heckling of and the toying with and the making fun of how he choked. So I'm glad my guy's turning things around. And yeah, I'm right about that, right? The Boston Golf Club not in the TGL playoffs.
The Boston and Jupiter. So Rory and Tiger,
sucks.
Both of their teams are the only two teams who are not invited to TGL playoffs.
Come on.
The Bay, LA, New York, and I'm forgetting the last one.
I'll be going tonight for New York versus LA to tee off the first ever, the Atlanta Drive, to tee off the first ever TGL playoff match. So that should be electric. That should be fun. 7 o'clock tonight in Palm Beach Gardens at the SoFi Center. And for me, this is everything around TGL. The better it does, the more eyes that get on it. And, of course, this is going to be a big stage for them because you get this one in before March Madness officially is underway. You know, I'm hoping that you get a thrilling finish or something that people can kind of latch on to because it's going to be harder and harder as they try and push through that TGL schedule. Tomorrow is going to go up right against the first four.
Yeah, sure is.
Out in Dayton. So we'll see how those ratings pull, and also – you always, again, the reaction from TGL matches always just much better when you get a epic finish. So I'm close down the stretch.
I got to say, I was kind of itching to see what would have happened if maybe a member of New York or Los Angeles who played tonight in TGL was in the playoff earlier this morning. It's 4 hours down the road. Maybe they would get a private flight over instead of driving. That would probably be the assumption I would make. But would they play in the morning? Possibly win or lose a championship and get up for this brand new tomorrow's Golf League playoff game?
Oh, man.
If it was a regular season matchup, there's a reason why these teams have 4 competitors and not 3. There's an alternative.
Right.
So someone could sub in for them. But it's the playoffs. You want your best guys out there, even if it's the first debut season.
And there's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
Like, let's not short that side of it where what was the purse for the Players Championship?
$4.5 million.
$4.5 million.
Sorry, $20 million. The winner got $4.5
right,
million.
That's what I meant. The first place purse. So for Rory, hypothetically, if the Boston Golf Club was in TGL's playoff today, even after winning the Players this morning, he would have had a lot of incentive to come back and compete in TGL's first round of the match because the winning team in TGL gets $9 million, right?
Yep, $2.25 million for each winning player on the team, $9 million per team.
That is, again, I think that's one of the things that gets buried a little bit too much when we talk about tomorrow's Golf League and TGL and what this inaugural season is for Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy's baby here. That, again, happens right here in Palm Beach County, right in Palm Beach Gardens. We got playoffs tonight and tomorrow night. There's a lot of money on the line. And I think as people try and angle, and I'm one of them, I will say I fall into that camp of saying, hey, why don't y'all do more fan interaction stuff? Why don't y'all show a little bit more personality, get more engaged with people there in the arena? I think the other side of it is you're going to see less and less of that, especially now in the playoffs, because they are locked in on getting to the money.
Yeah, the matches have been closer and closer with the hammer rules put into effect on Valentine's Day. It's made for more exciting events. And now that the money is truly in play and every shot matters even more so than before, you're right. It's harder, especially these guys who are PGA Tour professionals. They're already getting out of their comfort zone playing inside in the SoFi Center with an arena feel, with a rowdy crowd. It's going to be more of a stretch for them to get out of their comfort zone even more to chirp the other guy when real money's at stake.
Nah, it's now all about winning, and I can't knock them at all. I can't blame them because that's the way it should be. You know, another organization that needs to focus more on winning and less on being cheap, less on being bullied into paying their stars. How about the Cincinnati Bengals? How about the Cincinnati Bengals who did a midnight dump of the announcement that they're going to be bringing back both of their star receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. This was announced, I believe, Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports was the first one to have this. I believe they went straight through him. T. Higgins, 4 years, $115 million. Jamar Chase, 4 years, $161 million. That is the most money all time for a non-quarterback, as promised by the Bengals. Going in Jamar Chase's favor, it's also the most money any team has ever committed to two wide receivers at the same time. They are outpacing the rest of the league when it comes to the money spent on offense in a major way. They are outpacing other wide receiver tandems by $10+ million, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And all of this for a team that failed to make the playoffs last year and for a team that struggled mostly on the defensive side of the ball. Cincinnati is not wrong for extending Jamar and T. Higgins. In fact, I believe this is the right move. The problem that Cincy fell into this offseason is they waited a little too late. And this is one of those classic right moves, wrong time. Too little, too late. When you have to pay a guy in Jamar Chase $41 million a year and Justin Jefferson, who I know Jamar just came off the Triple Crown, C-Cat. It's one of the greatest single wide receiver seasons of all time. Only 5 people in the history of the league have actually won a Triple Crown. Jamar is one of them.
And now there's more competition for it.
It is.
The pass obviously has increased the past 20 years.
It absolutely is. But the other side of that context is you could have extended Jamar Chase last year this time, and at that point, his market value would have been probably hovering around $33, $34 million a year. So because you waited a whole season, not only are you paying a spike because of the other contracts that have happened between Myles Garrett and Max Crosby around the league for non-quarterbacks, you're also paying a premium because you allowed that guy who we all knew. We all looked at each other and said, yeah, there ain't 2 or 3 dudes better than that guy at the wide receiver position. He is the engine of this offense. We cannot win games. We cannot make playoff runs without Jamar Chase, without number 1 on our squad. We all kind of agreed that. The Bengals did as well, but they had these antiquated rules that prevented them from signing him to that deal early. They waited a year. Jamar proved exactly what we knew would happen, and now they're paying the cost for it. I know you had the salary cap hike. I know the Bengals are going to be able to retain their stars and have a happier locker room, C-Cat, but the more I look at this from a wider scope, like, this moves the needle for me, like, very little. Very little when it comes to the Bengals actually being able to now be a playoff team next year as opposed to what they did last season because they got no better. All they did was get more expensive.
Yeah.
They just got more expensive with the same unit, and a guy like T. Higgins who deserves that bag, a guy like Jamar Chase who deserves that bag are now I looked at the 3 contracts. Higgins, Chase, and Burrow. Like, those 3 guys making like what, around $130 million per year just between the 3 of them in a salary cap sport. It's going to get really rough. And now they're still trying to find money to re-sign Trey Hendrickson. Like, are the Bengals a serious franchise, or are they just now just trying to put enough talent on the field to keep their fans happy?
As someone who started watching football for the first time this year could tell you, okay, the Bengals' offense is good.
Really good.
Their defense is bad. And that's very first grade, kindergarten math, right? It's very simple cause and effect. So by doing this, like you said, they stay the same. The offense stays close to the same, but they have less resources to improve that defense. And the formula that you got from the Bengals was not a playoff team. And the division didn't get any easier going into 2025, so it's reasonable to assume that they're not going to be a playoff team next year because they cannot address the defense nearly as much as they would have been able to if they let T. Higgins walk. Or if, like you said, had the foresight, to sign him a little bit earlier.
Sign Higgins earlier.
You said this is the right move now. You
had
did
to
it
do
at the
it now.
wrong time.
Yes.
I don't think you had to. I don't think you had to sign T. Higgins now. I think that you cut your losses.
Yeah. Trade
It's like
him off.
compounding your errors. It's like, okay, best case scenario, we sign him early, get a deal.
Here's the issue, C-Cat. This is why the Bengals backed themselves into a corner. And it's hilarious because I see Bengals fans tweeting out relief that their franchise finally stopped being cheap. I saw people sending out thank you letters publicly to the ownership there. Please, Bengals fans, stand the hell up. Y'all look so pathetic to me. The bar is so low in Cincinnati that them doing a move that is like common sense, but also doing it a year too late and making it more expensive and further capping you in a way that's going to hurt your ability to actually win football games because of salary cap sport. Bengals fans need to stand up and actually hold this ownership and the decision makers to the fire, because this is not a savvy move. This is actually the opposite of it. It's closer to what the Cowboys have been doing year after year, and you see where that's gotten that franchise. And on the other side of that, you're saying they could have traded T. Higgins. You know why they couldn't do that? I didn't realize this until about a week ago, and I'm not sure why this wasn't a bigger headline. The reason why Higgins and Chase's deal got announced at the same time, they were a package deal. They were a package deal. And you're not letting Chase walk out of that building. They both were on the last year of their contracts, technically, and they have the same agent, and the Bengals had no choice. Because they told us publicly that Chase was going to be the highest paid non-quarterback, they had to pay him now $6 million more than a man in Justin Jefferson, who we can all agree he's not better than. He just isn't. And because T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are locked in, and Joe Burrow is also angling for these guys to get their contracts extended, they couldn't extend Chase without also coming to an agreement with T. Higgins, and now he's getting paid the most of any wide receiver 2 in the NFL right now. This is just mismanagement by that Bengals organization, and they're somehow getting applause from their fans for doing not only the common sense move, but then doing it in a way that was too late and is going to cost them. This still might not be a playoff team next year, C-Cat. Nobody would be shocked if they missed the postseason again.
But yeah, now I go back to a general manager's decision to now put his career on the line, rather than, after paying Joe Burrow record money for that organization, saying, okay, we're seeing other quarterbacks in the NFL do a lot more with a lot less on the offensive side. Let's address the other side of the football and really trust Joe Burrow. That's just an organizational, philosophical flaw that we're seeing shown on the brightest stage right now during this offseason, where the general manager could put the onus on the quarterback rather than construct a team. The onus is on the general manager because it was flawed last year. It'll be more flawed this year.
Well, number one, the problem is they don't really have a technical general manager. They have a guy assuming a position that is adjacent to that role. Number two, the Bengals, like if you're going to say not take away Joe Burrow's help, but help him in ways that are like sufficient in other areas of the roster, like defense and whatnot, where you can use it. That sounds good, but it feels like they got to a place where it was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, and maybe even Trey Hendrickson. We have to wait and see. It sounds like they're trying to extend him as well. It sounds like it's them versus management at this point, and Burrow already is locked in at that major $55 million a year deal. When he's out publicly telling us in the media, showing up on as many talk shows as possible to tell us how he can restructure his contract to make things work to keep everybody in-house, it feels like the GM, quote-unquote, of the Bengals was no longer just negotiating with those players, but they were negotiating against those players and against Joe Burrow and against the collective agencies.
But again, that goes back to, okay, let the players play and the managers manage, and the front office guys run the depth chart of the team. Again, it goes back to organizational, philosophical flaw that is just being developed and is snowballing to the worst extent, where we're going to have a short-term victory for the fan base and even for Joe Burrow, Chase, and Higgins.
Yeah.
And then the whistle will blow, the ball snapped, and the Bengals are 1-4.
Yeah. Like always. That's how the season always starts. And the funny thing is, so you're saying put the onus on the quarterback? I don't think they can. Because you look in the AFC, and he's the fourth best quarterback at best. And he's only the fourth best quarterback when you have Higgins and Chase on the roster, on the field, actively playing. Without one of those two, he might fall down further on that ladder. That's an issue. You can't say, hey, Joe, just carry us and we'll get rid of Higgins and help ourselves elsewhere and expect that thing to move the way it's been moving when there's no proof of concept in that direction. And for the Bengals, not only do you not have the number one quarterback or a top 3 quarterback in your own conference, even as I look at their wide receiver duo, that they've now made the richest wide receiver pairing in the history of the league, they're getting paid like $12 to $13 million more than any other tandem. Like, even if you can say that that's the best receiver duo in the league, which I don't think is definitive, the gap is not what the pay gap is that they're paying those two right now. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison would love a word. They would love a word. I mean, how about the reigning Super Bowl champions, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith? One is a Heisman winner, and the other one is a surefire number one dog. You cannot single coverage that guy, especially not in big games. You saw how Hurts connected with him. Even when the game was over, he got deep balls, though, I think, Brown and Smith, when they didn't need to against the Chiefs in that Super Bowl. Like, they would like to have a word. I hate to bring this tandem up because they were so bad last year, but Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're not in that same stratosphere. They're probably in that next tier down, but they get paid similarly to these other guys. There is a real question as to whether or not that tandem should be paid that much more than the very next tandem below them. And the fact that we have to raise that question, and the fact that Joe Burrow is getting paid, second or third most at his position when he clearly isn't. It almost is there a Cincinnati tax like there's a Cleveland tax?
Right.
Is there? What are we doing?
Is this a problem with kind of having too much success too early, where you feel like too much is owed to the players that were on that team, the team that went to the Super Bowl and fell short to the Rams?
To be honest with you, it's the opposite. You had just enough success early enough with these young, promising pieces that you should have locked them up early. You should have locked them up before the market continued to spike and rise up. We're not having this conversation if they made the same extensions that the Dolphins did, that the Eagles did, that even the Lions did with Amon-Ra St. Brown when the getting was good. They got Amon-Ra at like $28, $29 million. Like, that's a good value right there. If you got Jamar Chase today and he's sitting there at $33, $34 million, even if they paid him at par with Justin Jefferson's right at $35 million, there's no conflict. There's no take or theory around whether or not that was the right decision. It's clear cut. But instead, they had to pay a premium. They had to pay a late fee. It's like they took a book out from the library and they got mail, letters in the mail for 3 straight months, 4 straight months. They went on a full year, and then finally they decided we're going to pay this thing off. And now it feels like what they've done is hamstrung themselves because they are in such a tough conference. I wouldn't pick the Bengals over the Ravens, over the Chiefs, over the Bills, over the Texans. Like, you would have to convince me about them being a better team next year, depending on what they do this offseason, than the Chargers even, as I see year 2 of Harbaugh and Herbert out there in L.A. Like, that's how far down the totem pole they are. And I haven't even gotten to mention teams like the Steelers, who are going to be looking like a revamped team as well. The Browns are going to try and make something of it, right? You heard Myles Garrett?
No.
Myles Garrett said he pretty much alluded that it sounds like he knows what the answer is at quarterback, and that's what made him also stay back. Not the $40 million, but he knows what's going to be happening at the signal caller position. So, again, that's the wrong conference to be playing around like this in. They're going to mess around and end up like the Dolphins, a really fun team that puts up a lot of points and is scoring at high levels and is a great show to watch in person, but very unserious when it comes to contending.
So they've got good brand awareness. That's what the Bengals have. Like,
what?
when you turn on the TV, oh, Joe Burrow, I know him. Oh,
Yes.
Jamar Chase, recognizable, reliable to watch him score touchdowns on TV. Wow, Higgins still with the Bengals? He did not get paid to be a number one elsewhere? That's what the Bengals got.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and you know what else? Fantasy football players going to absolutely love the Bengals. Bad defense, a prolific offense, weapons that have continuity. Like this, it's good for a lot of people. It's just bad for people that care about wins and losses when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals. Thank God I'm on the other side of that. I would prefer them to continue to lose, especially in big games on the big stage, because I'm a Chiefs fan, and that's to my benefit.
I don't want to get too deep into the hypothetical, but what if waking up yesterday, the Bengals said, you know what? I don't like this path that we're on right now, and to cut our losses, we truly do have to take the power back, as I alluded to, as I mentioned, that probably should have been done from the Bengals. And I know it's painful, but if you tell Joe Burrow, like, hey, sorry, this is not going to be conducive to a winning football season, Chase, package deal with Higgins? Okay, package deal. Let's see what value we can get out of them.
Like, trade them?
deal with it. Yes. Or if that's what they're saying you have to do, if that is what Chase's agent and Chase and Higgins' agent, same guy.
Yeah.
If that's what they're saying to do, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you like forcing the hand of Burrow? Say, okay, so are you going to be in their package deal too? Are you going to ask out too? Like, seriously, if that is the option that was taken.
That's the thing.
That would have happened? Would Burrow say, okay, I guess I'm out?
But you know what? They're not fools. They know they have to sell tickets. They know they have to pack that stadium out. And I think for them, the bottom line, they're like, if we're going to pay all this guaranteed money to these folks right here, to this offensive firepower, and we're going to bring the band back that all of our fans want us to do, at the very least, I don't think they actually care about like trying to compete for Super Bowls at the highest level. Like Joe Burrow and them, I think they do. I believe, you have to believe a guy like that's just wired like he is, that talks about it so feverishly. He cares about winning. I just don't know how much the ownership or even the front office are prioritizing that over just continuing to sell tickets, continuing to keep the fans at bay. That's what it feels like they did.
If that was true, though, would winning and money not be in those orders? If winning was the ultimate goal, would a quarterback put winning above making those money possible?
But Burrow feels like he can win with his guys. Like Jamar Chase is a guy that he won a national championship with in college. T. Higgins is a guy that he's developed a strong connection with and actually loves playing with, and it's a good security blanket. I get why he wants them to be paid and them to remain Bengals. He's, his vision is a little blurred, right? He's too close to the situation. That's family to him. He wants his guys to get paid, and he wants to go out there with his brothers. I don't blame Joe Burrow for wanting that. I blame the Bengals for not locking them in a year early like they did with Joe, and also for now paying a late fee, and it's going to put them behind a lot of AFC contenders. Again, I'm not looking at the odds right now, but when we comes this NFL offseason, especially based off what the Bengals do after this, I'll be very curious as to whether or not I'll be picking the Bengals to be on the inside or the outside of the playoff looks. On the other side here, we got to get to the injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And West Virginia men's basketball has a huge gripe with not just who made it in the tournament, but how the North Carolina Tar Heels found their way into the NCAA men's tournament. They're dancing, but it's a dirty dance. And we'll get to that on the other side. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We are, theoretically speaking, on Emotion Monday on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, ref, timeout, man. All right, team, we're only down by 5. We can still win this. Grab some water and get back out there. Wait, no, not that water. That's full of contaminants and pharmaceuticals. You need Culligan water. With their free water test and reverse osmosis purification system, you'll have clean, refreshing water just like a slam dunk. Schedule your free consultation today at Culligan.com. Culligan, your partner for better water.
Hey, Culligan man!
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go get it done. Green. Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Get ready to elevate your driving experience with the all-new 2025 Range Rover Velar P250 Dynamic SE. A stunning blend of luxury, performance, and technology that will make every drive unforgettable. Right now, you can lease the new Velar for just $759 per month for 36 months. Yes, only $759 a month for a luxury SUV that sets new standards on the road. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
It's spring break, and Palm Beach Zoo is roaring with excitement. Come explore Tiger Forest, the reimagined tiger habitat, and meet our newest Malayan tiger, Olan. Now with 3 connected spaces, our tigers roam freely in Tiger Forest, just like in the wild, walking right above you on stunning overhead trails. It's an unforgettable experience where you'll connect with these majestic animals and learn how to help protect them in the wild. New tiger, new home, new adventure. Plan your visit today at palmbeachzoo.org.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Lithium batteries need to be disposed of properly. We've seen fires in recycling and garbage facilities here in Palm Beach County. Don't throw your lithium batteries into the garbage and don't put them in your recycle bins. Visit us at swa.org/LIB.
This is ESPN 106.3's Mike Rizzo. Recently, I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Michael Stark, a spine surgeon in the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. When it comes to spine injuries, Dr. Stark says there can be a misconception.
It's broad. Everyone thinks back would just be pain, but that's not always the case. In the spine is all your nerves, your spinal cord and your nerves that come out into the lumbar spine. Problems that you can see with those aren't just pain necessarily. Those are the more obvious, but you can see numbness. Patients can come in without pain, but they may have weakness in their leg or in their arm, and that may be from a pinched nerve that's higher up in the spine somewhere. So those are usually more alarm type symptoms where I would say you need to get evaluated, but it could also be something simple like a muscle strain or pull where it would end up with back pain or tightness that could result in symptoms prompting care.
That's Dr. Michael Stark with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
God knows. I am reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on. I need her, my babies.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
I'm still trying to figure out when people started spelling St. Patty's Day with the D's instead of the T's.
Good question.
Is that did you notice that too? It really spiked up this year.
Yeah, I kind of interchange because I don't know which one's right. So the D is correct?
No. Well, the D, I don't know if the D is correct.
Like
the D
Patrick. Patrick was with a T.
Patrick with a T, exactly. And also, for all of my life growing up, I swear to you, C-Cat, it was always just Patty.
Right.
That was St. Patty's Day. I got shirts and memorabilia to prove it. I don't know if this is that, what's that phenomenon they say?
The Streisand effect.
That's not it. The one where you can't where you're
the Bernstein Bears.
That's not.
That's like one of the examples of it. The Fruit of the Loom
the Fruit
logo.
of the Loom thing logo.
Is there cornucopia there?
The cornucopia. It's the Mandela effect.
There we go.
The Mandela effect. I believe there's a Mandela effect going on with St. Patty's Day. Somebody is commandeering the spelling of the name. They've changed it to D's. And they just think I'm going to roll with it, but no.
What is the Streisand effect? I've heard it before. Am I saying a bad thing right now?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it's bad. I've heard of it as well. I don't know. Streisand effect. Look it up. As you look it up, I'll tell you about a St. Patty's Day celebration that's happening right now, actually. Because today, it's the ultimate St. Patrick's Day party at your local Duffy Sports Grill. Get the St. Patty's Day classic, corned beef and cabbage made with certified Angus beef, just $15.99. And every party must include great drinks, pretzels. You know this. You can enjoy $4 green Miller Lite pints, $6 Jameson shots, and of course you got the $7 Guinness pints. Got games, giveaways, all of this at a Duffy Sports Grill on a St. Patty's Day. It's the one place to go and soak in all things St. Patrick's Day. Your local Duffy Sports Grill. Tap in today, get there, or be square. Duffy's, Our game is always on.
I now know what the Streisand effect is.
Okay.
And I know the perfect example of this.
Okay, give me the example, and then maybe I can tell you what the Streisand effect, the definition. Let's do that.
When LeBron James was on his first stint with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he got dunked on by a high schooler.
Yes.
And what did LeBron James want happen to the footage of said dunk?
Absolutely eradicated from the memory of all of those. And just he tried to act like it never happened. It was Jordan Clarkson. No, not Jordan Clarkson. It was I forget the dude's name. Jordan something.
So that's an example of the Streisand
Wow.
effect. The fact that we know about that is because he tried to get rid of it.
Yes.
So the reason it's called the Streisand effect, Barbra Streisand had an unsuccessful attempt to remove a photograph of her house, but that's an unsuccessful attempt to suppress information, leading to the information being spread and gaining more attention.
And it was Jordan Crawford.
Okay.
Jordan Crawford was the high schooler. Had a lot of bounce, and LeBron got that video totally wiped off the planet of the earth. I actually saw it back in the day. You can't find it these days.
Really? Oh, so it actually worked?
I don't think you can actually find it. LeBron had the white Vans pull up, and I think I don't have this. I can't say this with all certainty, but if you do Google it too many times, trying to find the Jordan Crawford dunk on LeBron James, white Vans might pull up outside your house.
I Googled it, and it's right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see.
eBombNation.com. They unearthed the footage.
Yes. That was it. Yeah, that's the only video. It's a little murky, and again,
it's like taken from the Spygate cameras that were across the street.
It's Coach Cam. Because probably everybody in that gym had their phones taken and literally factory reset. LeBron didn't play. You know another video that we don't see as much that we probably should, given the fact that this guy is the reigning NBA champion and one of the faces of the league? Do you remember when Jason Tatum dunked on LeBron in his rookie season in the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
Exactly. It was a poster. It was like a mano-a-mano, like LeBron tried to rise up for one of those, as we've seen so many times, rim-stopping blocks on a dunk, and Tatum took him and put him through the rim. And I'm saying this as a Tatum and Celtics hater. One of the great posters of this generation of basketball, and you rarely see it. And I think it's because it was against LeBron James. You don't go against the king.
Wow, he's got connections, man.
Yeah.
Like
why you think I don't say nothing bad about Bronny? You saw the way Stephen A. Smith folded?
Yeah.
You saw the way Stephen A. folded up, and he started all that barking Stephen A. had for LeBron was when he was in clear distance and with a lot of safety and distance between him and Bron.
Wow.
He don't play. I'm good on that.
The Streisand effect. You learn something new every day.
Streisand effect. Not the Mandela effect, which is different, which is what I think is happening with St. Patrick's Day. If anybody could tell me exactly what the hell is going on while we switch the letters on St. Patty's from T's to D's, please tap in here. Theoretically Speaking, Motion Monday, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. Hit us up and let us know. Another thing I need to know is how in the hell did North Carolina find a way to slither their way into the field of 68 for March Madness here as we got our brackets put together. I don't know what you were doing on Selection Sunday, CCAP, but at the time that all of this was shaking out, I was at the Palm Beach Kennel Club. We were actually getting ready to induct the newest member, the class of 2025, into the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame. And as it was all going on, most of the headlines I could get, because, again, I'm emceeing this event. I didn't want to be on my phone too much. I'm engaged with the crowd. We're trying to get things going. I'm seeing stuff about the Tar Heels. And from everything I remember, because it's not like I'm the most locked in during the regular season of college basketball, this was a terrible year for North Carolina. And I was told they had to win the ACC in order to really lock in their place. And they had a shot against the Duke team that was shorthanded, and they came up short. So I was absolutely puzzled by the Tar Heels making it in. But then as I started to learn the details around it, I said, oh, man, that's the game. They pulled a LeBron James on the NCAA, as in they used all of their connections. They used all of their leverage, and they got in over a West Virginia team that apparently had the better resume, that apparently everybody and their mama that was a bracketologist or an expert or an analyst said, oh, they're for sure in. West Virginia is now on the outside looking in, And the funniest thing was when you heard the actual explanation from the committee. Do we have the sound here? We have the sound from the selection committee, the NCAA tournament selection committee, explaining specifically why North Carolina didn't make the cut. And a lot of you already know what I'm about to get to, but I still got to set this up for those who don't because I think it's absolutely hilarious. First, let's take a listen at their explanation.
You know, Saturday night, we took our final vote, and we voted in 4 teams in the field on Saturday night, and we had a contingency vote. And the contingency vote, that was the last team in the field. And it was based on Memphis and UAB. If Memphis won that game, then that was going to free up a spot in the tournament, and that was going to be North Carolina. If UAB had won, then Memphis was going to be in the tournament, UAB would have been in the tournament, and North Carolina would have been the first team out. And so that process played out today. Memphis won, and that put North Carolina in the field.
So who you just heard right there was actually not the chairman of the selection committee, but it was the co-chair of the selection committee because CCAT, the chair of it, North Carolina athletic director Bubba Cunningham.
Wait a second. He made the decision?
Oh. Well, wait a second. Well, no. North Carolina was on the bubble, and he just so happened to be the selection committee chair, and they just so happened to squeeze out. The funny thing about that explanation that you got from the co-chair was he didn't answer as to why North Carolina was favored over West Virginia. He answered as to why North Carolina was that next team in had the AAC championship panned out the way that it did, which to me is disingenuous. But also, if you follow the money and you follow common sense, you can see exactly why the Tar Heels are in and the Mountaineers are out. I'm not even upset about this because I do believe the ambiguity in sports, especially when we're picking the outer realms of teams in these postseasons. Like in the college football 12-team playoff, if we're arguing about 9 through 12, at the end of the day, I don't really give a damn. I don't care that much.
That's true. That's not going to affect who is the national championship in your eyes.
Nah, the bigger fix in college football, and I'm glad that they are addressing it, is more so with the seeding and the bye weeks and whatnot. But anything between 9 and 12, it's good fodder for sports talk. But this is not going to be something that's going to ruin the integrity of the game when it comes to who we're going to crown as a true champion of the sport. Same thing when you look at the ambiguity around MVP races, right? Like at a certain point, it's good because it gives us room for argument, and we love to go back and forth on why we think this is better than that. But there is absolutely no argument in favor of North Carolina over West Virginia. This is an absolute, it's an injustice to West Virginia for sure, but it's not going to do much for who's going to be the true champion in college basketball. So I'm not going to sit here and cry some crocodile tears for the Mountaineers fans. I will say this. Hey, this is why representation matters, right? You're mad at UNC for having their athletic director on the board and in the selection committee chair position right now. It's his last year serving. But guess what? That's the reason why they're in. You don't know the other part of it, CCAT?
What?
That dude gets like $68,000 this year based on contract incentives if UNC makes the tournament. So damn right he probably told his boys before he left that meeting, hey, just help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? Like my family needs to eat as well. We want to put some food on the table. Throw UNC in. It's a brand name. It's defensible. And, I'll take everybody out to dinner. I'm cool with it.
I feel like whenever I'm in a position to make a decision where I do have preconceived biases, I am so self-conscious about anything I say or do that aligns with those biases. Not that the biases are affecting the decision, but maybe it benefits me because I'm making that decision because of the biases.
Yes.
I don't understand how you can sit up there with a straight face and act like this is just par for the course, like this is just normal. Like UNC's in because we all decided that UNC would get that vacant spot if that happened in the AAC championship game.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, if you're Bubba Cunningham and you're the AD of North Carolina, first and foremost, you might be the chairman of the selection committee. Your priority is about the elevation and the platforming and the actual money that is put into the pockets of your program. That's job number one for you. That's where your real paychecks are coming from. Also, on top of that, if you are Bubba and you do feel like you're going to be in this weird conflict of interest position, you have got to put up better guardrails for this particular situation. I think it's embarrassing for UNC because I'm sure he didn't assume he would be in this place. Like, this is an embarrassment for the program because you shouldn't be putting him in that position. You shouldn't be that far down on the bubble to where now his integrity is being called into question because y'all had to be squoles in to the likes of what the selection committee decided, and which was obviously the wrong decision. And still, you're right. If you're Bubba, you got to tell them dudes, look, they anybody but North Carolina, anybody but UNC.
Especially with these circumstances.
It's with these given circumstances, with the contract incentives that have now come out that we are well aware of as a general public, and on top of that, there is a team that is much more deserving. Again, there's a website called Bracket Matrix where they collect all of the major brackets that are projected out by all of the people that do this for a living. 111 of them. All 111 of those bracketologists and experts and websites and media outlets had West Virginia in. Do you know how hard it is to get something 111 out of 111 times from different varying opinions and places?
That's why, like, your Purell or your hand sanitizer says it kills 99.9% of germs. You can't make a guarantee.
You can never guarantee anything like that. In fact, that's the reason why this stat to me is so compelling. And that's why I feel like West Virginia fans have a reason, a cause for concern. There's a reason why the governor of West Virginia has come out and had a press conference and whatnot. They have been done wrong. But again, that's why I cannot tell you what happened within the walls of that selection committee. But what I can tell you is it is absolutely driven by bias. It is absolutely driven by the fact that their leader is the athletic director of UNC. And there's nothing you can tell me to convince me otherwise. That team was 1-12 in quad 1 games.
That's
1-12 in quad 1 games. And we're talking, and I believe West Virginia had like 6 or 7 quad 1 wins. Like the totality of their resumes, it's not even that comparable. It's just hilarious, man. But again, I'm okay with that ambiguity because, number one, that's why representation matters. And number two, neither one of them teams is going to make a run at a championship anyways. We still going to get our guy.
Like you say, representation, it's like we've both watched Succession, how a lot of the fight is for the seats on the board.
Yeah.
You want pull. You fight for those seats for a reason so that your voice is heard louder than the guy to your left and the guy to your right.
Go get in position. Go do something. Make something shake. Now West Virginia's not playing any postseason basketball, and I'm happy for them to be pulling out and not conceding and just playing in the NIT or whatever. Sucks for the student athletes. That's who I do feel bad for. The players on that team that likely earned their way in. But again,
make your free throws. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe there's a couple of games that they lost because,
Yeah, you're a 19-win team. Hey, win 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably a game or win or two away from being even that much more solidified. But again, with 111 out of 111, I got to assume that the experts had this right, and the people in the committee who have a little bit more bias, who know that we're more inclined to watch UNC than to watch West Virginia, who know that we're more inclined to talk about it if a team like West Virginia is left out in favor of one of the Blue Bloods. I get it. It's a TV show. They did what they were supposed to do. On the other side here, we'll address your concerns on this. Do you feel the selection committee is just outright dangerously bad here, or are you more on the side that roll the balls out there, let's get it going, I'm ready to see the first buzzer beater? What I can tell you, C-Cat, is we're all going to absolutely forget about this once we do get those March Madness moments.
I might even forget about it in the first 4, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't even care about those games. I honestly am rarely entertained by them.
Yeah.
But I'll still forget about it.
And we'll forget about it very soon. But it's something for us to complain about right now. And you can hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. Your thoughts on the injustice that was done to the Mountaineers. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline here on Theoretically Speaking. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. It's a Motion Monday. We are theoretically speaking. TGL teeing off tonight in the playoffs. A lot of excitement, especially here in Palm Beach County. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're theoretically speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
West Palm Beach is the place to be for spring training, and Cacti Park at the Palm Beaches has all the action around the Nationals and the Astros. Enjoy the biggest stars in Major League Baseball, grab a cold drink, and indulge in amazing ballpark eats. Cacti Park has plenty of fun promotions for you and the family, from their family 4-pack, fireworks shows, to the Bark at the Park night. Experience big league action up close and personal while creating lifelong memories. Tickets are on sale now over at cactipark.com. Don't wait, secure your spot today and let's play ball.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
March just got a whole lot sweeter at DQ Grill and Chill. Enjoy the blizzard of the month, Mint Oreo. Packed with creamy mint and crunchy Oreo pieces. Want extra crunch? Try the new Crunch and Oreo cookie cone dip. And cool off with the refreshing new orange cream shake. It's like sipping sunshine in a cup. Plus, free cone day is Thursday, March 20th. Come in for a free small vanilla cone. No purchase necessary. DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations. 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Looking to lose weight without painful injections? Introducing semaglutide oral spray, a game changer in weight loss, now available at whywait.net. This revolutionary spray delivers the proven power of semaglutide in an easy, needle-free, affordable solution. Get started today. Visit whywait.net to learn more about the semaglutide oral spray and take control of your weight loss journey. That's the letter Y, WEIGHT.net.
Hey, ref, time out, man. All right, team, we're only down by 5. We can still win this. Grab some water and get back out there. Wait, no, not that water. That's full of contaminants and pharmaceuticals. You need Culligan water. With their free water test and reverse osmosis purification system, you'll have clean, refreshing water just like a slam dunk. Schedule your free consultation today at Culligan.com. Culligan, your partner for better water.
Hey, Culligan man!
This is ESPN 106.3's Mike Rizzo. Recently, I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Michael Stark, a spine surgeon in the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. When it comes to spine injuries, Dr. Stark says there can be a misconception.
It's broad. Everyone thinks back would just be pain, but that's not always the case. In the spine is all your nerves, your spinal cord and your nerves that come out into the lumbar spine. Problems that you can see with those aren't just pain necessarily. Those are the more obvious, but you can see numbness. Patients can come in without pain, but they may have weakness in their leg or in their arm, and that may be from a pinched nerve that's higher up in the spine somewhere. So those are usually more alarm type symptoms where I would say you need to get evaluated, but it could also be something simple like a muscle strain or pull where it would end up with back pain or tightness that could result in symptoms prompting care.
That's Dr. Michael Stark with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Saturday, April 5th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Kaiser University's flagship campus transforms into the ultimate auto showroom. The Kaiser University Auto Show of the Palm Beaches with vehicles from nearly every manufacturer. Enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure environment to find the car of your dreams. Plus, it's free. Saturday, April 5th at 2600 North Military Trail, West Palm Beach. Call 561-478-5500 or visit residential.kaiseruniversity.edu for details.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. Back at it again now in the happy hour on Theoretically Speaking. It's your boy Theo Dorsey, C-Cat on the other side of the glass on the ones and the twos. Following the players. Following what was a weekend of consternation, a weekend of a lot of hating as well, but we got the college basketball stuff all wrapped up with a selection Sunday that came with a lot of conflict, but we got our 68 on both sides. We have a sports week to embark on that is going to be full of a lot of twists and turns, man. March Madness upon us, TGL playoffs upon us. We will have our hands full here, and of course, the back end of the NBA stretch is also going to be just as enticing. C-Cat, I know that this is like the area in which like basketball kind of overtakes a lot of the consciousness. But isn't this kind of like now a super duper peak time for golf as well? I feel like the competition in the spring for attention has elevated past what we used to see in like a decade ago from now.
Well, as TGL just started, so I guess it'll take a couple of years for that to be entering the mainstream conscious as you think of it.
It's there on ESPN. It still has like some of the stars of golf. It matters. You're right that it's not something that people are like talking about in the bars or by the water coolers as much, but it's happening.
Oh, it certainly is, and next year it'll be more known, and year after that. But we're talking about a tournament that has over 5 decades of history in terms of the NCAA tournament, an NBA league that's gone into the 70s. So there's a little bit more history surrounding some other things that are commanding attention. I would say golf turns on the focus when we get to the Masters weekend.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah, and that's coming as well, man. You start seeing those commercials, again, the most iconic commercials, not just in sports, but just on TV these days is when you start hearing the Ray Charles Masters commercials, which have been starting to proliferate the airwaves on ESPN.
Well, because even like the Ryder Cup, which is probably the most intense and kind of special, and I wouldn't use the word special. The Masters is more special.
Yeah.
The Ryder Cup, that happens during football season. Mm-hmm. So for a lot of people, unless you consider yourself a golf fan, you forget the Ryder Cup is taking place until it's taking place. You're not looking forward to it and following every beck and call of what's going on. No, it's wait a second, that's on today? All right, cool.
I think we've reached the point in American sports, at least, where you just cannot compete with the NFL.
Right, it's almost a death sentence to hold an event on a weekend in the fall.
It is, and it's funny because we saw college football try and challenge the throne at a couple points this year as well, and they failed. It failed, even with the new look 12-team playoff,
It did not feel like college football was able to challenge the NFL's throne as well. The NBA has tried to circumvent things and try and spark ratings up early on in its regular season with the NBA Cup, which is the in-season tournament, which is not still anything that is going to draw the kind of numbers and attention that you would want to have for something that's supposed to be elevated. And even with golf, I mean, baseball, like I'm wondering how soon it's going to be until the NBA actually literally shifts its whole calendar. Like starts way closer to Christmas and ends way closer to like July.
That's not a bad idea.
It would be a great idea.
Yeah, like seriously, I know there's a whole lot of semantics and logistics that we don't know enough about.
Yeah.
About these arenas and whatnot. But yeah, they should try to avoid the NFL at all costs.
Yeah. You definitely should, or you're going to end up the way of these other leagues that have fallen into a void where people either start paying attention when it's too late, or they never care enough at all by the time you reach your postseason or your championship rounds. Because now, if you're the NBA, you finally got out of the clear that is the NFL, and you're still going to have the draft that peaks up, right? You're still going to have other little moments throughout the offseason that are going to matter. But you got March Madness right now. Like you said, we have the Masters right now in golf. You got the Kentucky Derby, which is not going to steal a lot of headlines, but it still is just another thing to compete with along the way. I would be curious how long until the NBA does shift it. And I think the NBA Cup is the first sign that Adam Silver and them are actually willing to make that kind of a change at some point long term, because them doing the NBA Cup in like November, late September, or excuse me, October and into November and whatnot, that's almost like an admission that if we just do regular season games, nobody's going to pay attention.
Yeah, we got to re-incentivize. It's not just NBA basketball. That's not the draw anymore. We have to give someone a reason to care, which stinks in pro sports.
It does stink in pro sports, but as we know, one-off games, single elimination, win or go home, that is what sells tickets. That is what draws eyeballs, and that is why March Madness is such a draw, even though you, me, your mama, everybody and their cousins know that when this thing tips off tomorrow, March Madness, and we fill these brackets out and whatnot, and we start to pretend to cheer for programs that we did not have any kind of collective knowledge on before this month, like, we're only doing that because we know the thrill and the parity and just the amount of like ambiguity that can come with these kind of tournaments. Like, that's what makes it fun. It's not because we actually care about whether or not the Boilermakers can make a run in the March. We have no ties to that.
No, we're cheering for the format, not the teams or the actual product.
Yeah, and it comes at the perfect time of the year, again, when we are readily available and ready to hop on this stuff. So it's funny. Again, a lot of the collective outrage stuff you see, I think the one thing that is going under the headlines that is not getting enough talk is North Carolina. Them being the fourth team in from the ACC is, to me, a bigger headline than them even being the team to jump over West Virginia. Because in the same year that the ACC got a 3+1 into the NCAA tournament, which is crazy to think of given the dominance of that conference in college basketball for my whole existence, the SEC breaks a record with 14 teams in, where the previous record was 11, and it felt like at least 13 of them had a well-solidified resume. It wasn't even one of those SEC favoritism type of things. Like, are we really seeing the end of it all, man? Like, this is stuff like that, and then the Big Ten kind of starting to kind of compete and bring themselves up to the level of competition with the SEC in college football. Stuff like that makes me a little bit concerned that, this whole mega conference thing, it's closer than it is far. It's not pipe dreams anymore like what we were seeing back then. Like, the SEC and the Big Ten feel like the only things that matter these days in sports.
Yeah,
plus Duke, I guess.
These massive tectonic plates of college sports are moving so rapidly. And when they connect, there's a lot of conflict. And it's all moving rapidly. And, like, you don't know what changes to make that will fix things because there are problems down the road that we haven't figured out yet.
Yeah.
So, like, it's such an imperfect sport. I want to say sport. I'm just college athletics, that we're going to make more mistakes as a collective sports universe than we are going to make solutions.
Yeah. And as we do those, at the very least, we can sit back and enjoy ourselves and kick it in places like the happy hour to talk about them. You can't have the happy hour here on Theoretically Speaking without having a cocktail of the day.
Or Tina.
Or Tina.
No, we are going to have a happy hour without Tina.
Yeah, I feel like we do that a lot. I feel like we do that a lot. Not it's against our own will. Tina's a very busy woman.
No, that's okay. We got 20 minutes notice. So we weren't blindsided by it.
She's got a lot of motion, man. You never know. You never know, man. But instead of being graced with her presence, I will sub in for her and give a cocktail of the day. This one is St. Patty's Day themed. This one is with the Irish in mind. It's called an Irish Mule, C-Cat.
All right.
Can you guess this one?
All right. So mule, got to have the actual glass you have. It's got to be copper, right?
Yes, the copper. I love the copper mugs, by the way. I have a few of those at the crib.
What's like the purpose of that? When you make a mule, it has to be in a copper mug?
I think it's... Don't make me lie on these airwaves.
You don't know?
The funny thing is I learned what it was back when I was doing like cocktail and mixology classes back in during the pandemic. I do not remember, but it has something to do with both the temperature that you're able to keep the drink at with the ice cubes and whatnot because you don't want the ice to melt. And there's something else to it as well.
All right, so...
There's a reason for it.
Copper mug, guaranteed. That's in the Irish Mule.
Gotta have it.
I'm going to say there is going to be ginger beer.
Yes, that's another must-have. In any kind of mule, you got the ginger beer, you got the copper mug.
All right. Now, how do we get Irish? I feel like you wouldn't mix ginger beer with real beer.
No.
Like there's not going to be a beer cocktail like they try to make a thing. It's not a thing.
Hope not.
So not Guinness. We won't do that because Guinness is Irish, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty good.
Thought it was German for a sec.
Is it a G?
How about Bailey's? We dropping
Absolutely
some Bailey's
not.
in there?
That's like coffee type stuff, though, you know?
I don't know. Isn't Bailey's
flavor.
Irish?
Bailey's is Irish, huh?
Irish coffee.
Ah.
You put Bailey's in your coffee.
Don't they just call it Irish coffee because it's like alcohol in coffee?
It's a culture that celebrates drinking, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe. You know, look, you don't want to say anything culturally insensitive on their big day, St. Patty.
What do you...
Irish whiskey.
Irish
whiskey. A little Jameson or something, man. That's an obvious choice.
All right, so Irish whiskey, ginger beer in a copper cup, and we call it a day, right? That's the Irish Mule?
A little bit of lime juice. You want to activate that mint, slap that mint real good.
Okay.
Give it a little pop. Mm-hmm. Throw it on top, and that's pretty good. I don't like when people over garnish or over throw cinnamon and other accoutrement, as you like to say in the mules. I'm a big mule fan, whether it's a tequila mule, Tennessee mule, or an Irish mule. So that's going to be my drink of choice for St. Patty's Day. I'll order that tonight at TGL. How about that?
I'll do an Irish car bomb because that's a drink that is more fun to order than it is to drink. And I'll just throw it in the garbage.
What's the Irish car bomb?
I'm pretty sure it's just like a beer and you drop a shot of Jameson in it. That's
okay.
Yeah.
You know does it like make it like a big fizzle?
Yes.
One of those like
yes, you'll see
ordeals?
like it go viral every single year on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Just a chain reaction of car bombs being made where you line up a bunch of the beer glasses on the bar and then on the edge in between is the shot that you are tipping over. And then the chain reaction, you knock over the first one. It's like a domino effect where they all get knocked in.
Is this something that Irish people actually do, or is this one of those Americanized Irish culture things that they would frown upon if I asked for it in Ireland, do you think? Like, because this is what I got into a trap with my first ever trip to Japan in college. We took a trip to Japan, and we went to one of the Japanese bars, kicking it with the locals, you know what I'm saying, enjoying the ambiance of the culture. And the folks I was with, this is the first I had ever heard of it, ordered up some sake bombs. And the bartender, once we ordered said sake bombs, started laughing at us. And this is the funniest part. The messed up part about it was I think the folks that were with me, the other Americans that were with me, they made me be the one that asked for it. So I had no clue what I was asking for, and I thought this was the appropriate place and thing to do. And they knew the bartender would make fun of me or ostracize me. So the bartender laughs at me, goes, grabs another bartender. They laugh collectively. And then eventually they do bring over some sake bombs.
Huh.
Which is like similar to your Irish car bomb.
Yeah, so apparently the Irish car bomb had it wrong. It's Guinness is the drink, obviously, the big glass, and it's Irish cream and Irish whiskey.
I don't like that. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it feels like you're just putting three Irish things together just for the sake of it. Just because they're Irish.
Bomb. Yeah. Like that, is that why we're doing it? The Irish car bomb is just like a very explosive.
When was Ireland in war last? Like maybe that was a thing, and they thought of a cool name for this drink that had all the Irish things you drink that are alcoholic.
I'm not up on my Irish history, but when were they last in war? I would say the 60s.
Yeah, that's a Good guess. This is just a gross misinformation radio.
I'd say the 60s. Heck, I'm sure they had a little feud. I'm sure they had a little, little hustle. They could be in the middle of a war right now, and we had no clue.
Yeah, they're in gangs in New York, I think. They were one of the gangs in New York.
Yeah.
They were at war in Boondock Saints. That's the last time they were in war.
Man.
Just in the streets of Boston. How
Saints
about that?
Row. Well, you know what? Whatever. I hope they won that war. I hope that they enjoy more Irish car bombs, and I hope they have a peaceful and loving St. Patty's Day, whether you spell it with D's or T's.
Okay, so I found the answer to that.
Yeah.
The reason why St. Patrick's Day might be spelled with a D or patties or first patties is because the Irish spelling and the Irish version of the name Patrick is Padrig. Like
you're right.
P-A-D-R-A-I-G.
Because there's athletes named like Padrick. Isn't like a Padrick Tony or something? Yeah.
There's a golfer, Padrig. Forgot his name.
Padrick Tony, right?
No, I don't think so. He's a very good instructor. Padrig is.
Harrington.
Harrington. Thank you. But yeah, so Paddy with a D-D-Y because that's the Irish spelling of the name Patrick. So you might as well go with the Irish shorthand of it.
I guess so. I'll let it pass.
I've got an Irish friend. He loves being Irish, and he wears a paddy cap when he plays golf. You know what a paddy cap is?
Is it like the cool thing that you would wear if you had like the little boots on as well and you're doing like the little dance?
So just think of what Bryson DeChambeau used to wear when he was early on tour and he's still like beefed up. Yeah. Just Irish hat. Think of an Irish hat, and
it's pretty dope.
Yeah, he just wears the paddy cap when he plays golf, and I snicker every time.
I think being Irish, it seems like top 5 like nationalities that people are just super proud of being a part of. Like that they're just really loud about. They'll let you know about it. They'll tell you about their last name, their family history. If you have like an ounce of Irish in you, you let everybody around you know so that they can kind of like spread that information. I'm telling you outside looking in. The Irish are proud folk.
As a quarter Irish, I beg to differ.
Are you a quarter Irish?
I don't know. I'm a mix, man. I'm a mutt. I got a little bit of everything in me.
Yeah.
But I would say that more applies to Italians. Just my Italian half of the family.
Well, yes, because you're from New York, though.
That's true. Maybe that influences it.
Yeah. And also the Italian. You're right, though. Italians they're in the top 5 as well. I think Italians and Irish. I beg you to find me 3 cultures or heritages that are more proud than the Irish and the Italians.
I would say the Dominican Republic.
Oh my goodness, Dominicans. You're right. Dominicans in there. So we got Dominicans, we got the Irish, we got the Italians.
It's tough because the numbers game. So like maybe just because you haven't encountered someone that was proud of their country, because there's not that many in the United States of America. So like
it's a big melting pot. We got a lot out here.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, especially you're from New York. I'm from Texas. We're in Florida. There's a lot of folks out here. I think those are in everybody's top 3. The other 2, it's harder to kind of sift through. That might be more parsed out, but those 3 are obvious.
Are the Swedish proud of being Swedish?
Absolutely not.
I've never met a Swede.
Yeah, and I feel like I have. All right. So put it to you like this: if you have to ask yourself that question, then they're probably not as loud about it.
Oh, I got you. When they get their 23andMe back, it's just part of them, and they don't really have a connection to it.
Like, so put it to you like this: if somebody got their 23andMe back and it said like 3% Swedish, and then you had like 2% Irish, which one do you think they're making headlines about?
That's true. They're probably rooting for Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl.
I was about to say.
They're probably making my life a living hell in Section 34B.
They're immediately going to the Nike store, and they're racking up as much Notre Dame gear as they can get. That's it. I think that's just the way it goes, and I'm happy for them, and this is the big day, St. Patty's Day, where they get down. And again, coming off of this weekend where I feel like I celebrated enough already, my own, as I'm watching a little New York VLA, I have myself a little Irish mule. Little Irish mule.
Hey, you're wearing green.
Got the green shirt. I won't wear this to TGL though.
I know, but you're wearing it today. That's your contribution to celebrating St. Patrick's Day is wearing green. It's one step further than I did.
That's true. I actually can vibe with St. Patty's Day because I have some history of some great moments there. Especially I did a little historical downtown Savannah back in the day. That's one of the biggest celebrations. Chicago, they paint the river green and whatnot. Like, it's cool. I'm staying in the lake. I mean, it's cool out there. So I rock with St. Patty's Day. But yeah, C-Cat, getting back to the sports of it all for today, I do think that we have a NFL team in the Cincinnati Bengals that have planted their flag and told us what exactly they're going to be over the next 4 to 5 years. And though they made that Super Bowl run early, though Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and the bunch showed so much promise, and we felt like they'd be a team knocking on the door year after year after year. I do believe the latest extensions and whatever number they settle on with Trey Hendrickson this offseason are going to lock them into a box that is much closer to the Dolphins than it is the Ravens. A box that is much closer to fun, entertaining, high scoring, fantasy football stars than it is a team that puts fear in the heart of the opposition when it comes to making a deep playoff run. We saw the Bills and what they decided to do with Josh Allen. They trade away Stephon Diggs. They retool around him. Josh Allen walks away with an MVP, and he walks away one win away from a Super Bowl appearance. We saw what the Chiefs did when they had a star receiver who wanted a record-setting deal in Tyreek Hill. They trade him off for future draft assets, and not only do they spend that money and those draft picks elsewhere in a wise way to build around Mahomes, they win 2 Super Bowls and make it to a third. It just feels like the winning formula in the NFL, specifically in the AFC where the competition is so heightened, is to not do what the Bengals did. Yet and still, we get record extensions announced last night around midnight. Jamar Chase, 4 years, $161 million, most ever by a non-quarterback. T. Higgins, 4 years, $115 million, most from a wide receiver too in NFL history and currently right now. And if you sign those dudes the same time last year, you got them at a much bigger bargain, and you will feel a lot better about the construction of your roster.
What I don't get is giving the power to the players at this extent the Bengals did. So when will the players realize, so this is why you saw those roster movements when a receiver was due to get paid, like a Diggs or a Hill for the Chiefs and the Bills? That's why they didn't make that decision. That's why we weren't special. So if they are missing playoffs year after year, and yes, I'm jumping ahead a couple of years where I'm assuming it's a failed experiment, and this doesn't work out. Do they take ownership of that? Because they said it's us all together, complete package,
Who do you blame?
None of us.
Who would you blame in that scenario?
If you're T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, you should blame yourself because that's what we've seen. The ultimatum was made from Burrow going on Radio Row and campaigning to keep their brotherhood together, because that's the core of the Cincinnati Bengals, and they can't break them up. A team that just missed the playoffs. So they have to blame themselves.
Crazy. All right. Given as rosters are currently constructed, I'm going to list an AFC team, an AFC contender, and you tell me whether or not the Bengals will finish over them in the standings next year. Just given what we know today, I know that there is a little bit of uncertainty around who's going to be the quarterback for the Steelers. Same situation for the Browns. And also, who else has a lot left to do this offseason? Technically, the Raiders could show us a little bit something. And it's funny I bring up the Raiders, but I think the Bengals are closer to the conversation with the Raiders, depending on what they do the rest of this offseason, than they are with the top contenders. So I'll go team by team. You be objective, C-Cat.
Okay.
And you tell me what you think. And I'll start right at the top, right?
Unbiased.
Unbiased opinion here. And again, only 7 options, only 7 positions in the NFL playoffs in the AFC. Let's get some little bit of NFL music under this anyways. So we'll start at the top of the AFC as we try and figure out where the Bengals currently stand in the power rankings here on Theoretically Speaking. And the Chiefs are they're the reigning AFC champions. They've been in the Super Bowl each of the last 3 years. Would you take the Bengals today over what Kansas City has?
No. Benefit of the doubt, it still extends in the AFC. The Chiefs have not proved you wrong at all within their conference, so I would pick the Chiefs or the Bengals.
What's funny is the Bengals are only better than them at receiver. I feel like everywhere else on the field, you would take the Chiefs unit. Offensive line, obviously quarterback. In the backfield, it's like that's where the Chiefs are a little rough as well when it's between Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, but you're talking about Chase Brown?
I know you've been banging this drum for a long time, as has Nick right over at FS1, but I think that we have extended past using the Bengals beating the Chiefs in that AFC championship. That's you can't reference that anymore. That is ancient history. That does not apply to anything going forward until they give us something else to prove doubt.
It's funny that's why I talk about all the time athletes, career arcs as well as sometimes it's team career arcs. Because Joe Burrow in his introduction to the national public, right? Because he got that win over Mahomes, on the big stage and made it to the Super Bowl that early, that's what we're going to judge the rest of his career off of. If that happens in year 9 or 10 for Burrow, we look at him totally different. Because it happened in year 3, we put these hefty expectations on him that I don't think he's going to end up reaching. His career might be closer to Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton than Bengals fans want to resonate themselves to understand.
Yet more optimistic about the Chiefs than the Bengals this year.
Chiefs all day. All right, so that's one team in the AFC. Let's go down to the team the Chiefs beat in the AFC title game, the Buffalo Bills, who they re-signed Khalil Shakir for like half the price of what the Bengals signed T. Higgins for. What do you like about the Bills this year, and do you think the Bengals can compete?
I am going into 2025 just as optimistic about the Bills as I was in 2024.
You picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Sure did, and I'll probably do it again.
I think the Bills actually, now that they have like fortified themselves into this identity, I'm curious what they do with James Cook, if they end up actually extending him or possibly trading him. But they have an identity. They have a strong defense that they'll continue to retool as well. That got better on the back end of the year, and they got Josh Allen, and he's in a different stratosphere than Joe Burrow.
And that game was the AFC Championship game. It was the truest coin flip of all coin flips.
Yeah,
and I know eventually there's got to be another excuse to losing to the Chiefs, but that one was razor thin. The margins were very close. The Bills played very well, and they could have been your AFC champions.
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but they didn't.
But they're better than the Bengals.
They are better than the Bengals. That is easy to say. So the Bengals not better.
This is the game. Better than the Bengals.
Better than the Bengals, and it's an easy bar to clear, it feels like. How about the Ravens? That's your team. That's the Bengals division. You see them twice a year. It's going to be a shootout. How do you like the Ravens as composed against the Bengals right now?
The Ravens just probably lose one game against a bad opponent all year, and they don't do it again. The Bengals do that often.
Early and often.
They started the season doing that last year, which we thought was an aberration, losing to the Patriots in week 1, where I was with Theo Dorsey for that game.
Yeah.
We couldn't believe it. That was our survivor pick.
That was
millions
crazy.
And millions of people lost millions and millions of dollars on the Bengals losing to the Patriots week 1. We thought it was an improbability, but we got used to it by week 18, seeing how many of those games the Bengals do lose. The Ravens don't lose that many games. It's the Ravens. They are better than the Bengals.
All right, so now that we have that baseline, and I think those were the easy ones, I want to move on to the team that just made a major extension today. The Texans signed Derek Stingley Jr., another one of those LSU Bayou Bengals. 3 years, $90 million. He's the highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL, $30 million a year to the corner. And again, that Texans team is going to look a little different offensively. We'll see what they do retooling around that receiver room. But they've been there back-to-back years. They've won playoff games. Who would you take today between the Texans and Bengals?
It's because the division, honestly, it's very close. Even though, if you put the Texans in the AFC North, I think we're looking at a very similar record. But the path is there for the Texans year in and year out due to who surrounds them in their division and how it's being weighted to have a dynasty there. And they're the team that's in pole position. I think the Texans are going to do better in the AFC this year than the Bengals.
I just believe in their structure. We talked earlier about the Bengals' lack of ability to feel like they don't instill any confidence in you when it comes to their decision making. The Texans do, and they have ever since they changed over to DeMeco Ryans and brought C.J. Stroud in. There was a bit of a sophomore slump there. They've changed up things on the offensive line. They've got a new coordinator. I believe the Texans actually take a step forward next year, and that would put them ahead of the Bengals. Almost certainly.
We got 4 teams better than.
Four teams already better than the Bengals, who have just now, again, reinvested into their offense in a historic way. This one's going to be a little bit more touch and go. All right, Los Angeles Chargers in the AFC West, which is only getting better by the day, but they have Herbert, they have Harbaugh, they also have an identity, and they were in the playoffs last year.
It's crazy how quickly the Achilles heel, and the laughing stock of the league was the coaching of the Los Angeles Chargers when they were coached by Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
And how it is the complete opposite because of Jim Harbaugh now. The reputation that organization, before it was they will fail against all odds, but now it's like they will succeed against odds. I like the Chargers' playoff hopes a lot more than the Bengals this year.
I'm in love with what the Chargers are building out there, and that feels like, paradoxical to say as a Chiefs fan. I hate how that division, I mean, you're bringing all these Hall of Fame coaches and whatnot. You're bringing it, like, how much do you need to stop Patrick Mahomes? Like, can everybody just slow down? Can everybody take a breath and let this guy achieve greatness without building up like an army, the Globetrotters, to try to take this guy down? I will say the Chargers have a lot of meat left on the bone. I want to see what they do to improve the weaponry on that offense. But I still, like Herbert and Burrow, I think there's a marginal difference between those two quarterbacks no matter who you favor. And I like the coaching staff of the Chargers. And I absolutely love much better what they have on defense. Plus, they're coming off of a year where they had a lot of dead cap eaten up. This year, they free up more space. They have more flexibility. You got to believe they'll be better than the Bengals, man.
Guaranteed the Bengals will dominate the Chargers in jersey sales.
There you
That's
go.
the Bengals win. Because who is Justin Herbert throwing to the football to? Who will be scoring the touchdowns? Who will be showing up in Gatorade commercials?
So here's the true test of what your faith is in the Cincinnati Bengals. Staying again in that division, one of the toughest in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Today, we don't know who the quarterback is. Let's just assume it's Russell Wilson because he is the incumbent. There's rumors that it might be Aaron Rodgers. We do know they have DK Metcalf and Pickens. We do know that they moved off of Najee Harris. They might add a running back in the draft. And that defense is going to be a top 10 unit like they are year after year. Who do you like between what the Bengals are presenting and what the Steelers have current day?
Man, you combine these teams, and you have the best team in NFL history. The defense of the Steelers and the offense of the Bengals, sign me up.
I will be in on that.
But that's not reality.
Yeah.
These teams are foils of one another, and they happen to compete in the same division. I won't go that far. I'm not going to exaggerate for radio purposes.
Yeah.
I won't lie to the audience. I won't lie to our fans. I probably do like the Bengals' chances to make the playoffs next year more so than I do the Steelers.
It feels like the Bengals have a higher ceiling, but the Steelers have a higher floor. Like I can't.
Well, yeah, that's just the Mike Tomlin MO, right?
Yeah.
It's having the highest floor in the NFL.
Yeah. So there are. I think that like if you do this thing, if you spin the wheel 100 times, like there's a lot of times in which the Bengals actually do outperform the Steelers. But if I had to bet my hard-earned money on one of these two teams being in the playoffs next year, I'm going to go with the guy that never has a losing season, the guy that has a blank canvas at quarterback that'll get a good enough player at a discount, and a guy that has a top 10 defense. And it got DK Metcalf is going to make a huge difference on this offense. They looked way worse when Pickens was not available. Now you're going to have two of those kind of dudes on the outside.
Last week, we were at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium, and I was trying to figure out how the Steelers' season ended last year.
Oh, my
God.
God.
I couldn't quite figure it out. And I was like, I guess it was uneventful. And then you told me, wait, yet your favorite team, the Ravens, beat the Steelers in the first round of the playoffs. That's what happened. That's how little I respect the Steelers, to be honest, right now, as the organization stands in terms of competition in the AFC. So it's not saying much about the Bengals. It's more saying a lot about the Steelers and their reputation as a contender.
Yeah. Because, again, they had that peak in the middle of the year that everybody started believing. But, again, that's not the team that anybody's going to be shivering at as well. So we'll get back to stuff like that. But, again, that puts the Bengals right around fifth in the AFC right now. Fifth, and that's optimistic. I don't, again, depends on what the Broncos and Chargers do in the offseason. The Raiders might even have something to say down the end of the line there, but I don't feel confident in them. Even though they re-signed their guys, right move, a little bit too late. We'll see what else they have left in the budget for that defense. Man, I know what we got left in the budget for this weekend. Homestead, Miami Speedway, going to see a lot of action. C-Cat, it's going to be a good time. Are you pulling up? Are you going to be able to get out there?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to try. The stars got to align for me, but if I could have it my way, I'd be there every single day, including Saturday, March 22nd. We've got a pair of tickets to give away right here, right now on Theoretically Speaking.
Okay. Pair of tickets to the Xfinity Series race on Saturday, the King of NASCAR. Well, that's not it. Is that? Am I giving away the riddle?
Yeah.
This is Race Car Riddles, and I started giving the riddle away?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You kind of did the anchor man reading the cue card incorrect.
Yeah, this
is how does Race Car Riddles work, Theo?
Well, you give a riddle, not me. And once you give the riddle, the person that calls in, if they can tell you who that riddle is about, which NASCAR legend that riddle is about, they can win the tickets. They can go and pull up to Homestead for free.
So here is the riddle, and then you will give the phone number, because if you go, wait, the light bulb goes off in the brain of yours, say, I know who that is.
Okay.
And I want a pair of tickets to the Xfinity Series race on Saturday. Then you call in.
Say less.
And you win if you're number one. So here is your race car riddle to win a pair of tickets. The king of NASCAR, my crown shines bright. 200 wins in my career-long fight. My number 43 is a classic sight. Blue and red, I'm a legend of the night.
See, I'm not even a NASCAR junkie, and I know exactly who that is. It's easy.
Which NASCAR legend am I referring to? Race car riddles.
888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. That's the number to tap in. Again, race car riddles. You get this one right, you and a lucky buddy of yours going to be headed to the Xfinity Series race this Saturday at Homestead Miami Speedway. 888-760-3776.
One more time.
888-760-3776. Hit him with the riddle, C-Cat.
The king of NASCAR, my crown shines bright. 200 wins in my career-long fight. My number 43, it's a classic sight. Blue and red, I'm a legend of the night. Who am I? Which NASCAR legend are you referring to?
You know, I absolutely love 43 is an underrated number in football. I think Darren Sproles. If you just gave me the number for this one, I absolutely would not be able to get this. But a couple of other clues in your race car riddle gave it away. So we'll see if our callers are as smart and inclined as I am. 888-760-3776. Race cars riddles on the other side. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
We are proud of our parents. Want to know why? Because they work for the school district of Palm Beach County. There's lots of great jobs with paid vacation, holidays off, healthcare, and retirement. You can be in the same schedule as your kids. Come work at the school district of Palm Beach County. You'll see why it's your best choice.
Join us at the Team Palm Beach Schools Job Fair. Register at palmbeachschools.org/job fair. That's palmbeachschools.org/job fair.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100. Not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, ref, time out, man. All right, team, we're only down by 5. We can still win this. Grab some water and get back out there. Wait, no, not that water. That's full of contaminants and pharmaceuticals. You need Culligan water. With their free water test and reverse osmosis purification system, you'll have clean, refreshing water just like a slam dunk. Schedule your free consultation today at Culligan.com. Culligan, your partner for better water.
Hey, Culligan man!
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Spring training is back with our New York Mets. Catch the Mets at Clover Park in Port St. Lucie as they gear up for another postseason run. This time with Juan Soto. Soto and the squad are certainly ready to make some noise this season. Tickets are on sale now. Grab yours before they're gone. The Mets are hosting the Rays, Red Sox, Yankees, and more. It's a lineup you don't want to miss. Head to Mets.com to lock in your seats today because remember, baseball hits different here.
Introducing the bold, the powerful, the all-new 2025 Range Rover Sport P360 SE. A luxury SUV that commands attention with its refined design, dynamic performance, and cutting-edge technology. Lease the 2025 Range Rover Sport for just $12.99 per month for 36 months. Drive in style, power, and comfort, all for just $12.99 a month. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take the new Range Rover Sport for a spin. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
March just got a whole lot sweeter at DQ Grill and Chill. Enjoy the blizzard of the month, Mint Oreo. Packed with creamy mint and crunchy Oreo pieces. Want extra crunch? Try the new Crunch and Oreo cookie cone dip. And cool off with the refreshing new orange cream shake. It's like sipping sunshine in a cup. Plus, free cone day is Thursday, March 20th. Come in for a free small vanilla cone. No purchase necessary. DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
It's Motion Monday. It is time to give away some tickets to the Xfinity Series race on Saturday for our NASCAR giveaway. A little race car riddle, CCAT, and give the riddle one more time and we'll pop up our contestant, see if they got it right.
The king of NASCAR, my crown shines bright. 200 wins in my career-long fight. Blue and red, I'm a legend of the night. Which NASCAR legend am I talking about?
All righty, we got Thomas in Palm Beach Gardens. Thomas, welcome to Theoretically Speaking.
Thank you.
Thomas, you heard the riddle. You know what's at stake?
Yep.
Who are we talking about here?
Richard Petty.
There we go. The king. The king is going to send you and a pal of yours. Who are you going to take with you out there to Homestead, Miami?
My son.
That's what I'm talking about.
More about NASCAR than anyone.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, congratulations, Thomas. Thomas, you are the winner for today. You got Richard Petty, the king, and you're going to be up there in the grandstands, kicking it, having a good time. Love that for our fans here, able to go out and check it out. I'll be there Sunday at Homestead, Miami. Hopefully it's not a that drive down to Homestead. Whew, it's a long one, but it's well worth it when you're able to watch some of the greats in a sport that I've actually never seen in person. See, Kat, have you been to a NASCAR event in person?
Yeah, I grew up kind of going to Bristol Motor Speedway up further north, and I would sit in the infield, like in the RVs and stuff.
Yeah.
And sure, I was more interested in watching the Harry Potter movies, like on that portable DVD player.
Yeah.
But it's a great time. I wish I cherished it more.
Really loud is what I hear. Also, we got the nickname King in sports is almost undefeated. We got to continue to be precious about that, or careful about how we hand that out. King Richard Petty, the king of NASCAR. He's the undisputed go to that sport. You got LeBron James.
What's his name? Well, what did you say?
I said King Richard.
Well,
I said King Richard.
No. What's his last name?
Petty.
Okay.
Yeah. What'd you think I said?
You sound like you said Preddy for a second. I want to check.
Oh, no.
I want to tease the host.
Oh, no. King Richard Petty. The funniest thing is the day that Tom Petty died is the day that I actually learned who the hell Tom Petty was. And that's back when I was in local TV, a sports anchor in South Georgia. And I've never been ridiculed more.
Oh, I'm with you. Tom Petty might as well be Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
He might as well be, who's the guy that's bald and sings the song Uptown Girl? Billy Joel?
Yeah.
I don't know really who that is at all.
Right. I knew, like they said Tom Petty died. I knew it was a big deal. I knew I should be like, a little bit, oh my goodness. But they were like, no, this is like the end of the world. Then they start playing Free Fallin', which, by the way, really good song. I enjoyed the song. Just wasn't very aware. So let's hop on the get around before I offend any Tom Petty fans. Good dude. Rest in peace. Obviously one of the legends of the game. Just wasn't banging that in my car. Sorry, Tom.
Next stop.
First stop of the get around where we hit the hottest hot headlines all across the country. We go 4 hours up the road where I woke up today. Ponte Vedra, Florida.
There you
pronounce
go.
that right?
Yeah, so it's a lot better. I mean, you really enunciated. It was a little weird.
Rory McIlroy won the Players' Championship this morning, besting J.J. Spaun in the 3-hole playoff at TPC Sawgrass. Rory's 28th win on tour, his second Players' Championship win.
If it's for the biggest bag in golf, it's the biggest purse, right? The richest event.
$4.5 million.
It's a major to me then. That's another major for Rory. What the hell are we doing?
I was rooting for J.J. Spaun this morning.
Why?
Because in all other sports, we root for the underdog. The biggest underdog rooting festival we have is going to start on Thursday with March Madness. Yeah, I'm going to root for the underdog. J.J. Spaun wins the Players' Championship. His life is changed. It's like he got a lottery ticket. Of course, a lottery ticket that he put blood, sweat, and tears in and worked every living second to get that lottery ticket. But this is just number 28 for Rory. It's just another tournament. It's not a major win, which we know is what he is chasing. And I know you granted him the major win because of that.
Yeah.
But no, this meant nothing to Rory compared to what it meant for J.J. Spaun if he was able to win. And it was pathetic, man. J.J. Spaun just wet down his leg.
Yeah.
He didn't hit one good shot today. At all. Nothing.
You rooting for the underdog? Is this you being classic C-Cat the contrarian, or is this you actually enjoying an underdog story in sports?
This is enjoying an underdog story in sports, and I don't want a half measure with Rory. I want his final return to glory and winning a major after over a decade. I want it to be a full win on a major, not what people consider to be the quote-unquote fifth major.
Yeah.
I want to see him win the Masters. I want to see him win the PGA, U.S. Open, win overseas. That would be much more special. And it's not to say that he won't be able to do that, but I'd prefer that. Give the Players' Championship to J.J. Spaun, please.
Well, it's a major payday. How about that?
Next stop.
We go on the coast somewhere. I don't know where, because Bill Belichick's 23-year-old girlfriend posted a couple of pictures on Instagram over the weekend featuring Jordan Hudson herself and Bill Belichick doing beach yoga. Yeah, we got a bunch of shots of essentially Belichick and his girl showcasing the airplane game that you do with the 4-year-olds, where like you're on your back, you hold their hands, and you put your feet on the hips, then you bring your the bottom of your feet to the sky,
and they're just soaring.
Yes,
they're just like belly
Bill
flop soaring.
Belichick, mid-70s Bill Belichick and his 23-year-old girlfriend doing that on the beach.
I'd say it's impressive, number one. It's got to be a little, I mean, I can't imagine Belichick has the most dainty or delicate of feet, so her having those big rusty toes just piercing into her midsection and her still being able to like do the whole airplane thing, kudos to her. It also is it is a strikingly weird image when you tell somebody that's Bill Belichick on the ground, because you can't tell. It's not like you can see his face, so you kind of don't believe it at first. But yeah, Bill is like, he is letting his hair down in a way that I never assumed I would see in my lifetime.
I know. I don't know how he's not embarrassed.
I would be embarrassed if photos of that came out with me and my wife, and I'm 31.
And it's your more
it's my wife too.
Traditional,
it's not like my
age
girlfriend.
wife and all that.
It's not like a young girl who I was winning Super Bowls before she was born. So hey, I'm happy for them. To each his or her own. Also, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that them crusty toes did not derail the whole situation.
You're taking 30 seconds or less. Our final stop brings us to New York, where Jameis Winston is visiting the New York Giants.
Match made in heaven. Why not get him to the number one media market? He is not a quarterback that is a franchise alterer at this point, obviously. He's not a guy that's going to rack up the wins, but he will rack up the headlines and the sound bites. Jameis Winston to the Giants. Make it happen. Because I don't care what else they got going on out there in New York. At least let it be fun. It'll be like Tommy DeVito. Like Tommy Cutlets, but even better because he actually is decent at football.
Yeah. I don't remember that Monday Night Football game, Browns versus Broncos, where they put up like 100 points.
Oh, my goodness.
That's fun.
And then
we're
Malik
not
Neighbors.
Giants fans. Yeah.
Just peppering Malik Neighbors with targets. That would be absolutely incredible. That was fun. On the other side, we get out of here on the happy hour, leading you into Russo and Rizzo and some TGL action tonight. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Attention, South Florida! The PGA Tour champions and the Pro Football Hall of Fame are teaming up for a one-of-a-kind event, the James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational. From March 31st to April 6th, the action takes over the old course at Broken Sound in Boca Raton, featuring Hall of Fame legends like Warren Sapp, Calvin Johnson, Andre Reed, Rondé Barber, Chris Carter, and more. Tickets are on sale now at JamesHardyInvitational.com. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the home of legends.
March just got a whole lot sweeter at DQ Grill and Chill. Enjoy the blizzard of the month, Mint Oreo. Packed with creamy mint and crunchy Oreo pieces. Want extra crunch? Try the new Crunch and Oreo cookie cone dip. And cool off with the refreshing new orange cream shake. It's like sipping sunshine in a cup. Plus, free cone day is Thursday, March 20th. Come in for a free small vanilla cone. No purchase necessary. DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations. 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Midday Midterms brought to you by Kaiser University's Golf Coaching Center. There's so many ways to improve your golf game fast at the Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. They've got the facilities, the tools, and the coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with outdoor facilities including an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, and a full swing practice area. Plus, you got the indoor training area, 2,000 square feet with 3 hitting bays, a private classroom, and cutting-edge video and ball flight analysis technology to help you train like a pro. KaiserGolfCenter.com. Time for some Midday Midterms.
Theo, grade this for me. The Disney Channel original movie, The Luck of the Irish.
A-. Actually, you know what? An A flat. An A for that one, because a lot of Disney Channel original movies I cannot remember or recall the plot of, but this one I do. Kid sucked that basketball, got himself a little 3-leaf clover or something like that, was kissing it and hooping on dudes. I remember that one.
Grade this for me next. Pro Day 40 times.
Hate him. F-. If you run your 40 only at your pro day and not at the combine, you are a coward. Ted McMillan is a wide receiver. He's 6'5", 215 pounds. He's a physical freak. He ran a 4.48 today at his 40 for Arizona, but I don't give a damn about it because he refused to run it at the combine.
Wow.
You're a coward. It's an F. Don't waste my time doing it at your pro day. What do you need, a perfect setup to run 40 yards? Just do the damn thing in front of all of us.
In honor of St. Paddy's Day with D's, grade the potato.
Oh, the potato is A+. So versatile. The potato is so versatile it is. Hash browns, French fries, potato au gratin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just amazing. Baked potatoes. I had a buddy who went on a strictly baked potato diet for like 4 months, lost like 30 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And quickly, you got 20 seconds. Grade for me, the Leprechaun movie franchise. You ever see that?
D, because I did not. Is that the one where it's like a scary movie and he's like a evil guy?
Yeah.
I don't like that. It was real mischievous. Go in love, go in peace, go in joy. Russo and Rizzo next from TGL on ESPN 106.3.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on